Well, welcome again, Gemini. A few speed humps this month, June 2016, for you, with your ruling planet moving into an opposition aspect to Mars. That's early in the month, 10th to be exact, but leading up to that you'll start to feel some of the impact of that rather unsavory aspect from your 12th house and 6th house. 12th house is a hidden sort of house where secrets lurk and where private issues take place. And Mars in your 6th house has to do with your work, your co-workers, but also your health. So I'm getting a sense that anything that's bothering you, particularly in the area of co-workers, could be somewhat repressed, which is out of character for you, being the star sign which likes to communicate everything. This month, however, you may not be able to do so. And we also see the important opposition aspect of Venus to Saturn earlier than that, around the 4th of June, cooling down your emotions. And this has to do with more personal and intimate types of relationships, because Saturn is in your marital sector, has been for a while and will continue to do so, and especially now while it is retrograde, along with that Mars that I'm talking about. This process of revision, really going back over old ground to try to get a handle on things, is absolutely necessary. And later your ruling planet, around the time it does that opposition to Saturn as well, around the 21st, we see the right angle to Neptune on the same day, and the square or right angle to Jupiter. So that's the 21st, 23rd, the dates leading up to that are also going to be a little muddle-headed. You're going to be a little fuzzy around the edges, and with all this other stuff going on, perhaps the slowing down of your thought processes shown by that opposition of Mercury to Saturn is not a bad idea at all. It's better to err on the side of caution than jump in where fools dare. By the same token, you don't want to miss opportunities. And that is sometimes what can happen when you're deliberating too much, and deliberation becomes procrastination, and procrastination naturally results in lost opportunities. We do see that with the Sun and Venus in your Sun sign, and Mercury entering into this area on the 13th, and just before that a new moon in your Sun sign, that you're sort of trying to recreate yourself at this time. The way you're dealing with other people is probably not exactly the way in which you feel you have enough leverage or power. So new moons are famous in astrological parlance for giving a whole new approach to life, turning over a new leaf. It's almost like a mid-year resolution rather than a New Year's resolution. All good stuff, and that does give way to the favourable aspects of the sextile to Uranus, giving you a much sharper, faster and more intuitive edge to your thinking and your ideas and communication. It's on the 27th. And then on the 30th, it moves into your finance sector. That's your ruling planet we're talking about. Interestingly, on the same date, Mars, which is in that 6th house, and which we said needs to be addressed because of your health and co-workers, that sort of thing, that also goes into its stationary direct motion. So whatever revision we've talked about that you're going through, that should give you the thumbs up to move forward and really start to achieve a lot more in your professional area, in terms of your health and in terms of your relationships with co-workers. Venus, the planet of love, as I said, is with the Sun at the outset, having just been passed over by the Sun. This is a condition called combustion. This also has to do with your 12th house and your 5th house. These are love affairs. These are creative elements of your personality. It has to do with children. And therefore, any sort of combustion, that is, when a planet comes too near to the sun by conjunction, tends to burn it up and reduce its power for good. So that conjunction takes place earlier in the month. You might still be a little bit devitalized, a little bit tired, and that also is tied in with the stationary direct, well, rather it's been retrograde, but it will be stationary direct on the 30th at Mars eccentric motion. So these are all having to do with your health, tiredness, and most importantly from bottling up a lot of those feelings. So I guess the key thing for you is throughout this period of renovation, self-renovation, express what you can without being too thoughtless about it. It's best rather than bottling it up, because the elements this month are showing some need for revitalization of your health. There's also a square aspect from the Sun to Neptune on the 2nd, so that's also building a case for those very things that I'm talking about. If you are able to, measure both your physical action, your words and your thinking, you'll be able to harmonize the inner with the outer, and that should make for a slightly better month of June for you. Take a visit to astrology.com.au. I always mention that at the end of my reading, because you'll get a more detailed analysis there. This is usually just scratching the surface to give you an idea of what the general trend is and the theme for the month. Look forward to your company next month. Take care now. Bye-bye.